Coming up on today's news episode, a new driver for Monster Jam, Randy Brown returns, and TRANTINA'S USA-1 revealed. All of this is coming up, but first, it's time to bring back an old segment. For this week's news episode, we're going to recap the point series and categorize everything you need to know in either the good or the not so good. With that being said, let's begin. The good. Tensions rise on Arena Series East. As a new week, or 2 weeks passes by, Arena Series East becomes more and more interesting. While 4th and 6th may not have changed, 3rd place is swapped with 2nd place. That's right, after weeks of fighting, Armando Castro and El Toro Loco overtakes Cody Saucier in Dragon and continues his chase to win against Weston. As mentioned in our last video, Weston has really seemed to get the hang of this points championship ordeal and has really dominated in the last couple of weeks. The question is though, will Cody reclaim 2nd place? Will Armando overtake Weston? Well, your answer to those questions will be this weekend at Greenville, South Carolina on March 26th and March 27th. Surprises are plenty for Central. Central Tour has proved each week that tensions are high and anything can change at any moment. Last week, Tony Ox and Soldier Fortune Black Ops held the championship lead, and now Kristen has overtook Ox to secure the points lead. The top 4 are constantly changing, and all have been incredibly strong throughout the season. The difference in points is very minimal. One small mistake from Ox or Anderson, and either Zimmer Jr. and or Granger could leap into the lead and fight up front for the championship. This week the tour will be in Grand Rapids, Michigan from March 25th to the 27th. Great debut for a new driver. Now we'll talk more about Rassel in our news segment, but we currently will focus on his performance last weekend in Toledo. While not winning anything, he kept Elvis Linez still in the running for the championship by consistently winning in the midfield for each competition at each show, but did manage to score some 2nd and 3rd placements throughout the weekend. An impressive debut, I would say, and I really hope he gets another opportunity to drive again, maybe even for the 2023 season. Digger domination on Yellow Tour. The Diggers have continued to dominate as Anderson and Menninger trade victories back and forth. Last weekend in Jacksonville and even a week before in Miami were prime examples of Digger domination. Yes, drivers like Murphy, Porkin, Musawa, and among others are putting up a fight. It's clear that the winner will be the Digger that can outdo the other right till the very end. This weekend, however, for the first time, the tour will be at a non-points arena show in Huntsville, Alabama from March 25th to the 27th. Their next stop will also be a non-points arena show in Columbia, South Carolina, April 1st and April 2nd. April 9th and 10th, we'll see them return to stadiums and competing for points at Atlanta Motor Speedway, which will be an amazing night. The not so good. West becoming predictable? I hate saying that Tour is predictable, because it quite frankly sounds like I'm degrading the efforts of these drivers, which is not my intent. Saying that, however, with the exception of getting to see Randy Brown return to drive again, this time in Megalodon, there's been nothing that exciting. Vincent still leads, with England in 2nd and 79 points behind. Even worse, the gap between 2nd and 3rd is, and I kid you not, 285 points. That is truly insane. It is safe to say that Vincent will walk away with the tour, and if he slows down, then Tristan will be right behind him. A terrible break for Adam. Last weekend, Stadium Tour Red had a non-points arena show in Hidalgo, Texas. At one of these shows, Adam had one of, if not, the quickest runs I've ever seen. As you can see, Adam comes out of the tunnel, but swerves to the right and taps the wall. And that was his run. Now, it's clearly not his fault, as something must have broken in the truck. However, it must have been a very disheartening and tough moment for Anderson and the Digger crew. You know that Adam will fire back once competition returns in 2 weeks at Seattle, Washington on April 2nd. Well, that was the end of the good and the not so good, but it's not the end of the episode. It's now time for the news. Our first story is up first, a new driver from Monster Jam. As we talked about in the good, Brendan Russell made his Monster Jam debut last weekend in Toledo, driving El Toro Loco and filling in for Elvis Linez. Russell is a UNOH graduate and has a very prominent motorsports background, competing in other motorsports disciplines such as the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, driving a UNOH car. In 2019, he became one of 2 graduates to earn a spot in Monster Jam's tryout process. It is unknown why Linez was not present for Toledo, but that does not take away anything from Russell. An amazing debut for a rookie, and I'm excited to see what else he has in store when he gets the opportunity to drive again. Russell wasn't the only fill-in, as Randy Brown returned once again, this time to drive Megalodon on Arena Championship Series West for Bernard Light. Again, it is unknown why Bernard was not present, but Brown still put on a show, as he always does, and it's great to see him still behind the wheel every so often. Monster Jam has announced even more shows to their growing schedule and added lineups. The following events have been added to Monster Jam's second and third quarter. July 22nd to 24th, Las Vegas, Nevada at the Thomas Mack Center. July 30th, Edmonton, Alberta at Commonwealth Stadium. August 6th to 7th at Sunrise, Florida at the FLA Live Arena. August 20th to 21st, Calgary, Alberta at Stampede Grandstand. September 2nd to 4th, San Jose, California at the SAP Center. And September 10th to 11th, Duluth, Georgia at Gas South Arena. It seems Monster Jam is planning on expanding outside the United States now that the world starts to return to normal. While it doesn't guarantee that international events are returning soon, it definitely makes you wonder if they are testing the waters in Canada to see if it is tangible for next season. But that's not all. Here are some lineups for some of these recently announced shows. The lineup for Sunrise is Tristan England in Earthshaker, Kristen Anderson in Gravedigger, Armando Castro in El Toro Loco, a to-be-announced truck and driver, Shane Freed in Hooked, Chad Tingler in Stone Crusher, Matt Pagliarulo in Jester, and Nick Pagliarulo in Kraken. The lineup for Cleveland is Axe with Chris Kohler, Avenger with Jim Kohler, Mark List in El Toro Loco, Adam Anderson in Gravedigger, Camden Murphy in the Bakugan Dragonoid, Lucas Stabilizer with Cynthia Gauthier, Megalodon Corey Rummel, Ryan Anderson in Son of a Digger, Ryan Disharoon in Saigon Shaker, Overboard with Jamie Garner, Zach Garner in Wildside, and Byron Musawa in Zombie. The lineup for Landover is El Toro Loco, Mark List, Gravedigger, Adam Anderson, Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, Bryce Kenny, Jester, Matt Pagliarulo, Kraken, Nick Pagliarulo, Lucas Stabilizer, Cynthia Gauthier, Ryan Disharoon in Saigon Shaker, Ryan Anderson in Son of a Digger, a to-be-announced truck and driver, Vendetta with Mike Christensen, Wasted Nights with Brandon Budd, and Zombie, Bari Musawa. Pit parties have been a staple in Monster Jam, but due to the state of the world in the last year or two, pit parties have either been removed outright, as of 2020 and parts of 2021, or limited in some capacity, such as getting things signed or getting up and close with the driver. Not anymore, as from now on, Monster Jam will host regular pit parties, where you can get things signed, get up and close with the trucks, and meet the drivers. This is amazing news. Monster Jam is finally starting to go back to normal. To end today's news video is the debut of TRANTINA'S USA-1. Another one of TRANTINA'S trucks has made its competition debut. USA-1 is now competing in competition once again, with it debuting in Bossier City, Louisiana. TRANTINA would post the following on the reveal post on Facebook. saying, "Here it is, the 2022 Chevy Desert body on the new USA-1. Some may hate it, but we don't care. So much blood, sweat, and work put into this chassis, truck, body, etc. And we're excited to have USA-1 back." Now, some fans really do not like this truck, but personally, I love it. It's a very simplistic design on a unique body, and for me, that does it enough justice. And like, come on, it's USA-1. It's not a very complex design, so I don't know what you guys were expecting, but what's your opinion of this truck? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll see you all soon with some more Monster Truck content.